Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Today's video I'm going to show you how you can build a world-class top tier landing page using AI. Let's not mess around. So I'm going to show you how you can build landing pages using Lovable that look similar to these examples here. You see, they don't look like they've been built with AI. Actually, a couple of these have been mistaken from high quality Framer websites or Framer templates. And before we get started, you have to remember building sites with AI is just using AI to build in code. It's not really some magical, mystical method. You're just simply prompting AI, and AI will build whatever you want to build using code frameworks. So let's just touch over the tool stack for today, but we might use some of these tools, we might use all these tools, we might use more tools. So let's just touch on this. Lovable for coding and building, Cursor as well. But if you don't have Cursor, you can do everything inside of Lovable if you don't have Cursor. And you can also use another Cursor alternative as well. I'm going to use Tailwind CSS for easy styling. Don't worry if you don't know what that is, I'll explain. Figma, Paper, LoveArt / AI image generation for assets that we're going to create now and later. 21st Dev and React bits for components. Don't worry if you don't know what any of these are. This tutorial will be a step-by-step, easy to follow guide. Now, let's delete this. Step 0, the brief, who we're building for. Obviously, if you're building a website, you probably have a specific company, business, reason, or brand you're building it for, or maybe it's a personal website for yourself. Anyway, we've got a mock client or brief here. So Fluxboard is a modern project and workflow management platform designed for fast-moving teams who want clarity without complexity. It helps startups, agencies and product teams plan work, track progress, and collaborate in one lightweight, intelligent workspace. And we've got some information here about the company, target audience, core values, key SaaS features, what makes our product different, competitive landscape, landing page goal, etc. And if you don't have something like this, you can always ask ChatGPT to help you generate something that will help you build a lot more better and a lot more cohesive in the way that it structures the page. And let's go into step 1, finding inspiration and design references, where you want to go to Dribble, Saspo, Framer Marketplace, Lambbook, Figma Community X, basically wherever you want to find good examples of what you want to build or something similar. So here I've just collated a few of these screenshots from various different platforms that I've mentioned here. And we're going to use some of these now. I'm going to save some of these for later. And now we're on step 2. Give the inspo to Lovable. So I'm going to start in chat mode. I'm going to add a design theme, and it's important we only prompt to design the hero section. We are taking this slow and step by step. And let me just show you how I got those inspiration images. So I just typed in dark mode orange landing page because I want this site to be dark mode and use orange like highlight and accent colors. And you can see here we've got a plethora of different websites we can use and screenshot as inspiration. Also on the Framer Marketplace, if you just go back, you can see here I typed in SaaS and we have a bunch of templates here you can click on and use. And finally Lambbook as well, have really high quality, top class websites to use as inspiration as well. So I really like the look of this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy this. I'm going to paste it inside the Lovable, so copy as PNG. And I'm going to paste it inside the Lovable here. And you noticed on here it says choose the fonts you want to use, and there's a website called typeever.com. I've actually built this website and you can get custom font recommendations. So this is typeever.com, and simply what I'm going to say I need fonts for a B2B SaaS AI powered workflow and SaaS management project tool landing page. I'm just going to press generate suggestions. Don't worry about it making sense. because AI is going to help us generate some font recommendations for us. And you can see here we've got a few fonts here, and you can preview them by clicking on here and going into the Google Fonts if you want. But let me just go back. We've got a bunch of different fonts we can use, and I really like these two. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on font pairings. It's going to generate pairings for me. Okay, it's got some pairings here, but you don't have to use these. You can use your own knowledge or your own preference. But this is just to help people out that have no idea what typography to use. So I think I like Satoshi and Inter. So let's use Satoshi and Inter for this project. So let me just screenshot this so we have it as a reference. Okay, now let's get to actually building our hero section of our landing page. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to copy this context. So I'm going to press Control, click on this Control, just copy this. I'm going to head to Lovable, and what I'm going to do, and before I paste it, I'm just going to speak to it instead of typing. It's a lot faster. I'm going to say, actually let me remove that because it's going to capture that. I'm going to say, I want to build a high-end, high-quality SaaS landing page. I will paste the context below. And we just paste this below. Let me just add for Flux board, the name of our product. And I'm just going to go here. I'm going to write context. 1 second. And at the bottom here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to give it some instructions. So here I've generated some instructions with the help of AI again, and basically we're going to allow Lovable to think and be like a principal product designer. So this is like a really top, high-end, top quality, experienced product designer. And I'm going to say, I'm just basically going to paste this, and then I'm also going to say at the end, I'm going to say use Satoshi, which is the font we found, for all headings, and use Inter for all body text. And that's as much as we're going to give it for now. And at the top, let's just say, please critical only build the hero section for now. Copy the image attached completely with pixel perfect accuracy, but use our context and text below to change it. And the last thing we need to do, we haven't mentioned here the colors, but we obviously want to use orange color styling. So let's go and get the colors we're going to use. So if you just search Tailwind colors or Tailwind CSS colors, and you open up the documentation, you can see here we have a basic color grid of colors. And what we're going to do, we're going to say, we're going to use maybe orange, let's say orange 600 as our like primary color, but the rest of the site is going to be based off like a dark mode, black charcoal kind of look. So in Lovable, I'm going to say use Tailwind orange, let's say use Tailwind colors and use orange 600 as our primary color. Keep the styling strictly dark mode themed, and create a good color system based off this Tailwind styling. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't even have to make much sense, to be honest. But we've got all the components here. We put it in chat mode. The last thing you can do, if you have a custom theme that you like to use, you can select it here, but we're not going to do that in this video. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to press enter. Okay, and because we're using chat mode, you can see it's going to ask us some questions to really nail what you're trying to build before you actually start. And it says, what should the navigation items be for Fluxboard? So if you don't know, you can just choose any, and I'm just going to choose maybe this. We can always change it later anyway. And what social proof badge text should appear above the headline? We can just choose this one. What headline would you like? And I would say just choose that one again. Dashboard mockup. What I will do, I would say use a dummy / placeholder. I will provide the correct image later. And this is where you actually need to actually have a product, and have the image of the dashboard or whatever products you're building, so you can actually drag and drop it into Lovable for it to actually use. So I'm going to click on this, and then I'm going to press review. And you can just check these questions, and you can go back and change them if you want, and press submit. And by the way, this chat mode in Lovable, I think and I believe it's powered by Claude Opus 4.5, which is pretty much the most powerful coding model available right now. And it's done, and it's just going to summarize everything we've basically said here. And you can just double check this, and if it's not right, you can always chat with Lovable again by prompting, and just have to change a few things, but yeah, it's got it right. Dark mode, navigation bar, pill, headline, CTAs, orange colors, etc, etc. And once you're happy with everything, basically just click here, implement the plan, and it will go ahead and actually start building our landing page design. And look at this, it's slowly building up a task list that it will complete step by step. This is good because it doesn't force and rush everything, but this can cause a lot of bugs. So what it's doing is taking it step by step, breaking everything down into digestible tasks. Okay, it's finished. However, it hasn't really added the layout we wanted, which is an issue you will find with AI. And this is where you have to be patient. Don't just go and type on your keyboard, oh, AI produces rubbish, slop. No, just be patient. We will get there eventually. The first thing we have to do, we have to check that it's actually using Satoshi. I know it's not, I can tell straight away. So I'm just going to say, make sure the headline and future headings are using Satoshi, not default fonts. And I'm just going to enter this. Actually, what I'm going to say, do a deep dive and fix. I'm going to go into chat mode actually. And basically what this last line is going to do, it's going to basically make it think harder and actually find the actual issue and implement a fix. And using chat mode is going to further enhance this. And nice, it's changed the font. Sometimes you have to go through this process a couple times, and if it doesn't work the first time, the second time, what I normally do, I say, as you can see here, I say do a very deep dive into the code and fix this issue once and for all. And this is going to make it think even harder than the first time, and this actually managed to make it work this time. Now the next thing we need to do is change the layout and alignment of all these elements so it can match our image. As you can see from the image, this is what the hero section is meant to look like. So we've got the elements here left aligned, and we've got this like angled image dashboard here. What I'm going to do actually to make sure that AI understands this, I'm going to copy this image and give it to an LLM. I'm going to tell the LLM to help me describe the layout exactly. So in Gemini, I'm going to paste the image and I'm going to say, describe the layout and positioning of of all elements in this hero section UI with perfect accuracy and detail. I'm just going to enter that, ignore the spelling mistakes. So Gemini has done a very nice breakdown of the whole entire hero section. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy this, but we actually don't really need the nav bar. It's just from the hero section down that is a bit wrong. So I'm just going to copy this and I'm going to go back to Lovable, and with the image I'm going to paste this, and what I'm going to say is make sure the layout, let me actually speak, of the hero section matches the image attached exactly with extreme precision. I will paste the description of the layout below, but please take note and change all the copywriting to match our existing copywriting and our existing context. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to paste below this. I'm going to go into chat mode again. I'm going to enter. Now you might be wondering, why are we taking so long on the hero section? The hero section will dictate how the other sections will look later. So this is why it's very important to make sure you nail the hero section. And obviously just click on implement the plan and we'll see what Lovable managed to do this time. Okay, so you can see it's done a little bit better of a job at this. We're not going to focus any longer on the positioning of this to get it exactly right. We can always tweak that a bit later, but for now this is a good basis and a good start that we can continue with. So we're going to go to the next section, and basically I've asked ChatGPT to create me a plan of how the hero or the landing page should look, and I've just added this myself: logo bar ticker, perfectly looping ticker with no visible gaps or start on endpoints. And you can prompt AI to do this, but AI often struggles with tickers for some reason. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to a component library. So I'm going to go to a website called 21st Dev, and they have a lot of components that you can copy straight into Lovable. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to type in ticker. And when it loads, you can see we have a lot of tickers to choose from. I'm going to make sure we're selecting the right thing here. Okay, so there's no actual tickers, so let me just find it. Okay, so under the clients in marketing blocks, you can find some nice tickers and you can just choose one you like. And I think I quite like this, so I'm gonna actually copy this. I'm gonna click on copy prompt, and let me open it actually. I'm gonna open it. Now I'm gonna copy prompt, and when you click on copy prompt, you can choose the tool you're using, so Lovable in our case. Copy prompt, head back to Lovable. I'm going to say, under the hero section, make a logo ticker section using the code below. And actually one thing I'm going to do, I'm going to click on copy prompt, and I'm going to click on additional context. I'm going to say, use the existing styling we have already on my website. I'm going to copy this prompt now. Okay, I'm back in Lovable. I'm just going to say, make sure you change the text styling to match our existing text styles. I'm going to say Satoshi plus enter. Now I'm going to paste the code below. I'm just going to press enter this time and see if we can build it without chat mode. And very quickly, while we're waiting for this, what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy this role. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to go back into Lovable. And I'm going to go to settings. And I'm going to go to knowledge. And I'm going to paste it in the knowledge section here so that it has this as like a higher level role or piece of knowledge that I can always refer to. Click on save. And basically this is our principal product designer role, where it just goes through and applies like top design principles and accessibility, UI, polish, debugging, finding issues, etc. And you can see in here we've got a nice logo ticker, and you can see some of the logos are dark so you can't really see them, but we can fix this later. Now, without wasting any more time inside of Lovable, what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring it into Cursor. So you can see we did step 3, which is add a couple more sections. We only added one in this case, and using Figma or AI to add assets. But actually I'm just going to remove this, and we can save this for later, because we're actually just going to go straight into Cursor so we don't delay anymore, and we have access to more powerful models. And you can see, why are we going into Cursor instead of continuing inside of Lovable? Well, let me just say this: if you don't have Cursor, you can just do everything that I will do in Cursor inside of Lovable. And if you don't have Cursor, you can also use anti-gravity, which has generous free limits at the moment. And you can use any other AI coding tool or IDE that you want. But why Cursor? It's generally cheaper than Lovable, because when you run out of the top models, you can use auto model for free, and it can handle more advanced requests and features, has more diverse and powerful AI models, and it has a recently made good design mode as well. Okay, to get it into Cursor, it's very simple. Click on this GitHub button at the top. You want to sync this to GitHub. So connect GitHub, connect projects, and if you haven't connected GitHub already, it will help you and guide you into setting up a GitHub account, and that's basically it. So I'm going to click on my GitHub organization, transfer it anyway, and you can see here we've got our GitHub repository link, but we don't really need to copy that. All we need to do is go into Cursor. Inside of Cursor, you agree to do this. You want to click on clone repo. Click on clone from GitHub, and normally it should be at the top. If it's not the top, just search the name that you can find in here. But we can see it here. Click on this, and then you need to save it in your computer somewhere as a folder. Now, the first thing you want to do when you're inside a Cursor is tell it to install all dependencies and run the app. So I'm going to do that. And I'm also going to check if there's any free models. There's always like one free model that's going around. So this time it's got code. And what this is going to do is going to save my limits and my usage. Don't worry if you don't have any idea what this means. Just do it, and basically what it's going to do is going to install relevant dependencies, and it's going to open your app in the browser. And you might be prompted to open it inside of Cursor browser. I'll click yes so you can see it right here inside of Cursor. And now you can see we've loaded our projects inside of Cursor very nicely. Okay, so let's continue building this landing page, and we've got our section here. Let me just ungroup this. Okay, so the next section is this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy this, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to go into Cursor, and I'm going to actually select, no, let's just do agent. I'm going to say create this section below the logo section. I'm going to paste this, and I'm going to select Gemini 3 Pro. Why? Because it's the best model for design. Simple as that. Press enter. And look at that, in about a minute it's generated this, and this looks really nice and really clean actually. This is actually better than I expected. So this is actually a good start. Obviously we can always refine this if we want later, but for now that's good. Next section. So we're just going to rattle through these. Next section, how Fluxboard works. And I'm going to copy this. I'm going to say build this next section below. I'm going to paste this. And actually, I want to use another reference image. Okay, I found something I like, so I'm just going to screenshot this. I'm going to go back into Cursor. I'm going to paste it. I'm going to say use the reference image as a reference, but replace with our colors / styling / context / copy, and press enter again. And look at this, this looks really nice and really clean again as well. So without further ado, next section. So let me just go to this copy, and this section I'm going to have 4 to 6 key features. So let's choose, I'm going to say 5 key features. Let me just track this down. And this is pretty much the main section, or the section that gets the most attention a lot of the time on SaaS websites. So I'm going to say next section. I'm going to paste this below. And what I'm going to say, use a bento grid layout, like, I'm going to say exactly like my attached image. And what I was going to say, actually I'm going to leave it as that, and then I'm going to go back to the image one. So I'm going to use this one. I'm going to copy it as PNG, go to cursor, paste it. I'm going to say change the image to match our styling and copy, etc. So what I can do, I can just copy this text I used before, paste it here, and I'm going to enter. Okay, we've encountered an issue here. As you can see, the app is blank. So I'm just going to screenshot this. The paste, I'm going to say the app / site is blank and not loading. Please do a deep dive and fix this issue, please. And I'm going to select Opus 4.5, the most powerful model, just so we can fix this quickly. And it's working again after just that one prompt. You can see the AI has done its best to try and, create these images or these illustrations. It's chopped off a bit of the text here, which we will fix now actually. So let's just click on this. Click on this, which is like an inspect tool. You can click on here, and we can say the text is being cut off at the bottom on larger / desktop breakpoints. Please fix this. Make the illustration above smaller. And I'm actually going to screenshot this as well, so you can understand the issue. I'm going to paste this and give it to Opus. Now, while we're waiting for this, we probably want to create better illustrations for these 5 different cards. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for this to finish, or actually what I can do is open a new agent, and I can go into maybe Grok code. I can click on ask mode. I'm going to say for the feature section, if I wanted to create suitable illustrations by hand, what should I make for each bento card? I'm just going to screenshot the section so it has an idea. Just go back here, screenshot this, and press enter. Okay, it seems like Grok code can't read images, so let's just click on auto. And the other agent has fixed this issue, so now the text isn't being cut off and the illustration's a bit smaller. So it's giving me an idea of what sort of illustrations I should be making. And what I'm going to do is going to copy this. I'm going to go to Figma and just create a text block somewhere. Let's do this. Paste it here so we have somewhere. And I'm going to say, please give me the color styling I should use for these illustrations. Okay, so we've got the color palette we should be using for the illustrations and the detail of each illustration that we should be making. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy this image. I'm going to head into a tool called LoveArt AI. And LoveArt is basically an AI tool that you can use to generate branding, images, videos, and it has access to all of the best image, video models as well. So you can see Nano Banana Pro, the new GPT model, Seedream, Midjourney, Recraft, Ideogram, etc., etc. And I've basically pasted this so we can screenshot this and use this as a reference for the style of illustrations we want to make. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to screenshot a few of these and just paste them here. Do this one, maybe this one as well. Do a better screenshot. Paste it underneath, and let's just screenshot this as well. And paste this here. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to get the text from here and just maybe paste it here so we don't have to go back and forth. Actually, we can just use the one from Figma. Let's leave this clean. And basically, what I want to do, I want to create these illustrations using LoveArt. So I'm going to copy the first one, and I'm going to click here. I'm going to say create this illustration, but make it dark mode with, I'm just going to paste this, and then I'm going to get our brand color. So make it dark mode with these orange accent colors. And I'm just going to paste this. I'm going to put illustration so it knows what we're actually going to make. And it's got a detailed description. And then I'm going to say use the style of, I'm going to click on this, this, or this. Then I'm going to click on this space and click on this. So use the style of these images below. And then I'm going to click on Nano Banana and GPT image 1.5. These are the best two for this sort of use case. And I'm going to press enter. Now, I've not really tried this before, so we're going to see if it works. If it doesn't work, we'll find another way to fill those bento cards. Okay, it didn't quite work. It created this massive mess. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on this. I'm going to say create, put it before, create a dark mode illustration of simple, let's say, Kanban board, of a simple Kanban board with an orange accent color instead of blue, and use the image referenced as a reference. going to press enter. Okay, we have something that looks a bit better, but still not up to the quality we are looking for. So what I'm going to do actually, I'm going to go back into cursor. I'm going to go back into the other bento card illustration agent. I'm going to say create better illustrations that look more vibrant and more appealing for each bento card. Try and keep it to dark mode with orange accent colors. And then what I'm going to say as well, because I like this smartboard one, we just change this to agent as well. I like this smartboard one, so I'm going to say keep the smartboards bento card mainly the same, just make it pop a little more. And I'm going to go back into Gemini 3 Pro and we're going to see if it actually designs the bento cards a little bit more. Obviously, as a designer, what I would do, I would go into something like Figma and I'll create illustrations from scratch. And if I didn't have a direction, I'll just search something like bento illustrations, press enter, and then I would find something that kind of matches what I want, and then I'd open it and I'll tweak it and change the colors to match my brand. And if you don't want to stress about anything, you could go back to 21st Dev and just choose a features section that you like and just copy the prompt and paste the prompt inside of Cursor or Lovable. And this is actually really impressive. Wow, you can see this, it just pops a bit more, everything just looks a little bit better. And what we can do, we can go deeper and we can click on something like this and we can say make this stretch more of the available space left in the card. I can paste that and we can do the same for this, and we can actually say separate the icons a little and make this illustration take up more of the available space, and we can enter that, and we can do the same thing for here. So I'm just going to copy this and I'm going to specify available space vertically this time because there's lots of space below. And let me just remove this and re-click on this. Okay, that's fine. And we're just going to wait for that to finish before we continue on to the next section. Alright, so I've just prompted it to make this a bit taller, and yeah, it looks better. Look at this hover effect, it's nice, isn't it? And this is all just using Gemini 3 Pro inside of Cursor instead of actually creating our own assets. But we'll still come back to Love Art later because we still need to generate things like a logo as well to replace this generic boring logo. So back to it, let's get on to the next section. So I'm going to copy this again and I'm going to say create next section below. I'm going to paste. What I'm actually going to do, I'm just going to rattle through these now. So we have this product in action, screenshots or short walkthrough showing boards tasks. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to go to Cursor. I'm going to say next section, and in bracket I'm going to say use Actually, I'm going to leave actually. I'm going to say use placeholder images if needed, but we're going to see how good it can actually create the UI. So what you can do, if you want to queue a prompt so you don't have to wait, you press Control on your keyboard and you press Enter, and it will queue it after this one is done. So the next one, I'm going to use this, I'm going to copy this, and we're going to go into cursor, and put next section. I'm going to paste this, press Control and Enter. Let me just close this. And this one, social proof credibility. What I'm actually going to do, I'm going to go into 21st Dev and get a nice looking testimonial section. So I'm going to click on testimonials here, 21st Dev, and there's this one I normally really like. Where is it now? Let me just find it. This one, here it is. So I'm going to click on open. And I'm going to click on copy prompt, and this time we are using cursor. I'm just going to say use our existing styling / themes / copy / context. Copy the prompt, go back in cursor. All you have to do is say create this section below, paste it, Control Enter to queue, and we're just going to wait now and see how it gets along with these prompts we've just given it. And the good thing is, while we wait, we can always do something else. So while we wait for this to be done, so we can review it, what we want to do, we want to change these buttons. These buttons are looking very boring, very generic. So mainly the primary button. The secondary button doesn't matter too much. So again, I'm going to go back into 21st Dev, click on this, and I'm going to click on, where is it now, UI components, and then buttons, and we can just click on any cool button we want. And let me see, is there any nice looking buttons here? Okay, so you can go through here and choose any cool button, but I'm actually going to do something else. Okay, I'm inside a tool called Magic Path, and Magic Path is an AI design tool, and this is a collection of buttons I've made over time, and I've got a lot of cool looking buttons here. So what I'm actually going to do, I'm just going to copy one of these. Now to actually copy them as code, you need the Pro plan, so I would highly recommend you get the Pro plan. But let me just find a button I like. I think I like something like this maybe. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to go on this button, I'm going to click on code, I'm going to click on copy, and I'm going to go to cursor, I'm going to load up, I'm going to say change all the primary buttons to this component below, but tweak the colors and styling to match our existing colors and styling. And then I'm just going to paste the code. Okay, it's finished all these changes, and you can see once again the app is blank. So what we're going to do, screenshot again, paste, make sure we have Opus 4.5 selected. I'm going to say the app/site is blank. Again, please do a deep dive and fix the issues. And it's not even done yet, but you can see our site is back, and then we just need to make tweaks on the button there we just saw. But if we just scroll through the site first, look at this beautiful section here, and it changes. Look at the animations, this is incredible. And we have this nice simple section here, wow. And we have the testimonial section. I would like it for it to remove the border. We can always prompt that. So first, let's fix this hero section button. I'm going to select it. select it. Please make the hero section button the same size as the other primary buttons, and let me actually select a working one. I'm going to say just like this one, and I'm going to scroll down and select one that actually works. Yep. And then let's just go back to, let's use auto for this. As you can see, we're actually using a lot of our limit, which is fine because when it runs out we have auto models for free. Okay, that's why you want to use, models like Opus 4.5 only when you want to debug. If you use it all the time, you will literally train your credits in a couple of hours. So always be careful and mindful of which models you're using on Cursor, because some models are a lot more expensive than the others. That's why I always try and find a free one, and if possible use that when you can. Okay, it's fixed the button, but I've actually realized that it's probably a little bit too small. So I'm going to say make all the website buttons and put apart from the navbar button slightly larger / more padding. I'm going to say don't make them too big. I'm going to press enter. And then the last button change, I want to make this similar to this but without the styling. So I'm going to say make the secondary buttons have the same sizing and radius as the primary. Do not copy the inner shadows or colors. Keep them basic as they are. And I'm gonna click on this button so I reference it again. Now this might seem like a lot of time, but it's only really been like 50 minutes to an hour spent on this, and considering that we are building this pretty much custom, it's actually really good in terms of timing. And then I've just noticed this has the same issue as that, so I'm going to say make sure the text isn't being cut off. Move the text up to match the other bento card alignments. And then I'm going to just screenshot this as well for additional context and press enter. While we're waiting for that, let's just rattle through the last section. So we have 3 more sections. So the first one is this. So I'm going to click on this or copy this. I'm going to go to cursor. And again, for the pricing section, I'm just going to use an image I found from Dribble as a design reference. I'm going to say use the image attached as a reference. I'm going to paste the image. I'm also going to say make sure you change the image to use our existing colors and styling too. And let's change back into our design model, which is Gemini 3 Pro. But actually, let's try the Flash version. This is slightly lighter, but it's similar to the Pro. Let's try it this time. Press enter. And let's just copy these last 2 sections. So the first one, primary CTA. Let's say, or let's go back into cursor and let's say, create this CTA section below. The CTA should be on a card on top of the section. I'm just going to paste this, and then I'm also going to use another reference image that I've saved which is copy as PNG, go back to cursor, use image attached as reference, paste the image, control enter to queue. And the last section, footer, let's just copy this and just paste it in cursor as well. Create a footer. I'm gonna paste this. And let's also remove the white border from these testimonial cards. So I'm going to say remove the white border from the testimonial cards. And let's just screenshot this so it knows what we're talking about. And let's use auto. And now what we're going to do is, if you saw my notes, we know we have a role that we pasted into Lovable, and we're going to do the exact same thing in cursor. And what I've done, if I go to cursor settings, I've made it a custom command. All you need to do to make a custom command, they can use across all projects, click on add command, enter your command name, and once you've entered it and press enter, it will open an MD file for you, or just a file inside here. And what you have to do, you just paste your instructions and press command S to save, and then boom, you have your custom command. Now to use this, what we're going to do, let me just refresh this. Okay, nice, let's change that. To use this, all we have to do, press slash, and you'll see it here, UX UI reviewer. That's what I've called it there. So I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to say run this command. I'm also going to say I want each section on desktop to have a max width of 1280 pixels. That's kind of a standard max width for websites. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to choose Sonnet 4.5 this time. I'm going to press enter. And what it's going to do is going to go through the UX UI, provide me with a load of issues that I should probably fix in terms of priority, critical, medium and low, and then I can decide whether to fix them or not. And we can see that it's done the tasks and it's given us a load of things we can potentially fix. So if I just scroll down, critical issues, missing maximum constraint, which I've mentioned, and we have the medium priority issues, and then several contrast issues, put to hierarchy, and yeah, so what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to say fix the critical issues and the typography issues, and also make the secondary button like the see it in action hero button, the same exact size as the primary button, e.g. start free button. And I'm also going to tag this secondary button, or just this div actually instead, and I'm going to press enter. I'm going to do this one more time, and let's choose Gemini 3 Pro. And as I'm scrolling through, this might happen to you. You might think of things or ways you can improve this. For example, we can make this interactive, so dragging this actually drags the blocks. So I'm actually going to click on this. I'm going to say make it so that dragging the Kanban cards across the different lanes / Kanban sections works properly. And let's choose Opus 4.5 for this one. And if I just refresh, hopefully, okay, this button still isn't the same size, so we're gonna have to click on this one more time, and we can maybe inspect this and see. We have the height as 40 here, and the height is set as 44 there, but the padding is 16 here and padding 0. Okay, so there's an issue with this, so we need to click on this, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to say the secondary button still isn't the same size as the primary button. Please do a deep dive and fix this issue once and for all. Let's say do a very deep dive. Do a very deep dive and fix this issue once and for all. And I'm also going to screenshot this. Let me just re-tag this button as well. And then Control Enter to cue the prompt. And there's one final change that we want to make here in Cursor, and that's the angle of the dashboard. You can see from this image the angle is different, so I'm going to copy this PNG and I'm going to go back into Cursor. I'm going to say, look at my attached image, please make the dashboard in the hero section the same positioning / angle as as the dashboard in the image reference attached. And then we can choose Gemini 3 Pro for this as well. And once again, Control Enter. I don't know what the agent is doing here. This is actually quite scary what the agent is doing here. What is going on? Just spamming a bunch of adjectives. Yep. Oh, I'm talented, smart, quick. Yep, just going through the whole dictionary. Anyway, let's just end this and cue this one. So what I've been doing is just prompting it to align the dashboard how I want. So I've just said move it left, move it right, bring it forward, bring it more upright, tilt it anti-clockwise, those kind of languages just to prompt it. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to replace this dashboard with a placeholder image and add a border that's classomorphic around it as well. And when you're satisfied, what you want to do, you want to sync this back into Lovable. So I'm going to simply type git push. Now this is going to sync this version we have here back into GitHub, and Lovable is going to get it from GitHub back into Lovable. So let's type git push, press enter, and you can see back inside of Lovable we have this, and this looks really clean and really nice, and we can make the final few tweaks in Lovable. So this looks really nice, really clean. So the first thing I want to do, and I want to use like a custom image background for the hero. So what you can do, you can go to Figma community and you can just search gradient backgrounds, and there's this file where you can get 150 free gradient backgrounds, and you can choose one of these if you like, or you can go into Midjourney or something and you can generate your own. You can create, so you can see I've prompted a few times to try and generate my own backgrounds, as you can see here. And what I've did is that I took a background from this Figma file and I went into a tool called Paper. So as I was saying, I've got my background here. Let me just rename it to Orange VG for Hero. I'm just going to save this. I'm going to take it into a tool called Paper. Okay, so in Paper, I'm just going to get the image I've just saved or downloaded in Figma. going to drag it into the canvas here. And you can see that I've applied a shader. I've applied this one, fluted glass, and I've just customized the properties a little bit by just playing around with these sliders, something like this, you can see. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get this like template, I'm going to click, I'm going to change this image to the one I've just downloaded. And we've got this nice background here, and I'm just going to click on frame, and I'm going to click on export, and export as PNG. Actually, let me just do JPEG. And before we do that, let's see if we can customize any of these properties a bit more. Maybe shadows a bit more, and then the distortion a little bit more maybe. I think the angle is fine. I'm just going to copy this, and then I'm going to go to Lovable, and I'm going to tell Lovable, use this image attached as the background for the hero section. Make it stretch. And then I'm just going to upload the image, and we can just press enter. Now let's also create the logo. So let's go back into Love Art, and I'm just using ChatGPT to create a prompt so I can create the logo. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy this and go back into Love Art, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to press this, I'm going to click on image generator, and I'm going to use Banana Pro, press enter, and I'm going to do another one, image generator, and I'm going to choose this time GPT image 1.5, enter as well, and I'm going to press enter. I'm going to see what they generate. Okay, so it's using our image as the background, but it's not quite picking up the fluted glass effect. So I'm just going to go back into paper, and we can increase the properties here, and we can actually extend this a bit. So let me just click on this, I'm going to drag this down, I'm going to make this a bit taller to match our hero section size roughly in Lovable. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to make the fill black, as you can see, so it kind of blends in. And this frame, I can also maybe play around with a few settings, but I think this is fine for now. And I'm just going to increase the properties of this fluted glass, so maybe the highlights, we can make them more defined, something like that. Shadows, increase the shadows a little bit more. Angles fine. Distortion, maybe a little bit more, that's too much. Something like this is fine. The shift, just play around with these settings. This doesn't really do much. Stretch, okay, there you can see what that does. You can do something like this, and then blurs that. Edges, doesn't really do much, and then scale, just scaling. And then what we can do, we can just name this something else, and just export this again, and then give it back to Lovable. So open the sidebar, drag this, and just copy this prompt again, and press enter. Okay, so we have two good concepts here, but we want this to be stacked horizontally, so I'm going to say stack the icon and text horizontally. And then for this one, I want the whole icon to be on maybe like a rectangle. I'm going to say put the logo icon mark on top of a rounded rectangle. Let me just wait for this one to finish before we can prompt that. Okay, these are our two new concepts, and I like this one on the left, so by Nano Pro. So I'm just going to click on this and click on remove background. And then I'm also going to resize this, maybe by, I'm just going to resize this, so I'm just going to download this first, then open it back inside of Figma. So move this to the side. I've just gone ahead of myself, but you can see here we've done step 4, we've done step 5, so we just have these 2 steps left. So this is what we're doing now, step 5. And to crop this image, I'm just going to hold command and drag this up. I'm going to hold command and then I can just drag this corner as well, just to crop it. Do the same for this corner. And then I'm just going to get this, and then we can export. And let's just export this 2x, and that's a PNG because it's transparent. And then just save it somewhere. And then finally in Lovable, use the visual edit tool, select the whole logo, not just the icon. I'm going to say replace the whole logo with my image, and then just paste your image in. Now 2 things you want to do, or 3 things. First, let's see if we can try and make these logos light. So I'm just going to maybe click on this whole section. I'm going to say, can you make the logos in the logo marquee white and not dark, so that they are visible. Press enter. And another thing that we want to do, we want to get our actual dashboard image and place it here. I'm just going to use something I whipped up quickly using an AI tool. I'm just going to get the image and I'm going to paste it here. So here we can see that I've uploaded the dashboard image. Just need to remove the blur, and I want to change the typography of these to italics words, and then that will be it for the design. So you can see the text in here is different. It's like a serif font. So that's what we're going to do in Lovable. And just change this text here to instrument serif and unblur the image. And we're approaching the end. Now we want the last 2 steps. So first we have to deploy. So because we have used GitHub, we can deploy on Netlify, Vercel, or we can just do it in Lovable. So we're going to do it in Lovable because it's simple and easy, no confusion, no extra additional steps. And then we are going to create a cool product shot using a tool called shots.so. So let's go into step 6 first. So all you need to do before we press publish, let's just look at the site first. So we have all of this. It's really nice, really beautiful. You can see this is what we've been building. What I'm going to do, I'm going to press publish and just call this flux board, and hopefully that's not been taken. Press save, and then I'm going to click on publish. And when it's done, it'll be a live website. So it's published, it's finished, it's a live website now on this link. So if I click on this, you can see it open. A beautiful landing page, as you can see. And you can also add your own custom domain from your domain provider if you want. But let's go to the last step, which is creating a custom product shot. So what I did, I just screenshotted the hero section. I just used this tool called, I think it's called Fireshot, or you can just use whatever screenshotting command or tool. And I'm going to go to shots.so. So shots.so. So in shots.so you greet with this, and simply you can copy your image, or you can save it, and you can just drag and drop or paste, and you can see we have these nice customization options. So I'm going to click on this liquid glass. I'm going to make this bigger by zooming in, and then I'm going to go to frame, and I'm actually going to select a cool background. You can see you have a ton of options here. I like this one. And then what we're going to do, I'm going to go up, I'm going to click background effects. We can add some noise. You can see the noise is increasing, and we can also add some blur, maybe a little bit like that, maybe 25, and maybe increase the noise a little bit more, 25. Seems good. And then you can just export, and boom, you can share this anywhere, on social media, wherever. And what we're actually going to do, I'm going to go back into Lovable, and I'm going to use it here in website info as a share image or an OG image. So that was a complete landing page course using Lovable, Cursor, and some other tools like Figma, Lovart, Magic Path, Paper. But you can replace, chop and change any of these tools with any similar tools. So for example, instead of Lovable, you can use Bolt, you can use V0. Instead of Cursor, you can use Anti-Gravity. You can use Midjourney instead of the tools we were using, or you can use something like Nano Banana instead of Gemini or ChatGPT. But that was a complete course on how to create a landing page like this, and I'll leave the remix links to this in the description as well. So thank you guys for watching. If you found this video helpful in any way, please, I'd appreciate it if you liked. Press subscribe for more of these full guides and full courses which I'll be delivering to you guys, and I will see you guys in the next video.